So I had this thought the other day when I was essentially doom scrolling different Wikipedia articles on just random cognitive biases, and I came along this one called the Curse of Knowledge. Some people may know it by a different name, but I think a lot of people can kind of relate to it, and I think it can relate to coaching, which is essentially why I'm making this video in the first place. So essentially, when you think you know or you do have a good amount of expertise in a given area, you tend to forget about what it was like when you didn't really know that subject very well. So this is why a lot of times teachers suck at teaching students that either aren't very smart or just don't get it on the first try, because they're so far along in that path of mastery that they just can't relate to those people. And if they did struggle to learn that stuff when they were younger, it's just been so long for them. So like this happened to me in math. Like I was terrible at math. Like my teacher just couldn't understand like how far down the road of me not getting it was. But I digress. What I think I see this in coaching, in myself at least, is especially as I've been working with essentially kids, 16, 17-year-old, 18-year-old kids, is one, obviously being a language barrier, but also you just take for granted them not knowing how to lift. And it's been so long since I feel like I just didn't know how to lift. I started, training whatever in middle school, like just expecting that most people know how to do a squat, which they just don't a lot of times. And it got me thinking about, as strength coaches, I think we're always, we're big on continuing ed as far as like learning about different types of training, the human body, all that stuff. But do we learn that stuff I don't know how much it actually serves us when talking to athletes, especially with like rudimentary level athletes. I think a lot of times we do it more so, one, because it's interesting. I don't really know a strength coach that's been in the game for more than a few years, doesn't enjoy what they do. So we probably find that stuff interesting. And I think also it's to, probably a little bit to impress the people that we're working with, our peers, and so we can kind of bounce ideas back and forth. Overall, probably good things, but are we better served trying to get better at explaining and simplifying concepts that we run into more often, like teaching movements and being able to explain those and teach those in multiple ways, so that when you get someone that just doesn't get it right away, we've been around athletes that you show it to them one time and they get it, versus someone you show it to them 10 times and they still can't hack it. And maybe it's a little bit of them, but probably it's also a little bit because you can't teach it in the way that kind of gets through to them. So just a random thought I was having. I think, are we better served honing in on more of the basics and being able to teach them in a variety of ways that can get through to people, as opposed to trying to continuing to learn advanced information that may or may not be super practical? I don't know. That's what happens when you doom scroll on Wikipedia. That's my thoughts for today.